Hi everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we are finally starting the Spectre Operation Tarkov solo campaign. This will be a scenarized campaign, a narrative campaign, and every mission will follow each other in a narrative way. It's not like a random mission that will be selected one after the other. So basically here I've created a document that highlights every mission, explaining the lore, the introduction, the setup for every mission, and obviously I'm just reading the next mission once I completed the previous one. There is some specific rules, some specific introduction. That document will be available in once the campaign is over, so not today, but you can follow along with me if you want. There are also some new gameplay mechanic. Some are still work in progress. For example, here I have two side missions that are triggered when something specific happens. If you want to read that, you can read. I already know those rules pretty well, and I will mention them when I encounter them. So first off, let's have a look at the campaign background. The events of this campaign are happening just a couple of days after the Tarkov region was sealed. If you want to learn more about the lore behind the universe of Escape from Tarkov, in the description down below I have a Google Doc that explains the story behind the universe. In that campaign, you lead a team of USEC PMCs called Sign Raven, and you are tasked in securing two scientists from Terra Group alongside a secure container that they are carrying. They were supposed to get out before the sealing of the city but didn't manage to evacuate in time. They are currently hiding in a USEC safe house in the middle of the city alongside their two bodyguards. Your team will be infiltrated by Hilo at night. USEC command, called sign Vulture, managed to bribe a local Russian military colonel in charge of a radar station. This will allow your team to move in and out even though the area is officially under lockdown. Estimation time from infill to exfil no more than 2 days. So that's basically the setup, the lore of the campaign. And we will be starting the first mission with the soldier on board of that helicopter heading toward Tarkov City. And that's where we start that first mission. Mission 1, Aftermath. Introduction. While your helicopter makes its final approach to the outskirts of Tarkov City, an explosion happens, and the helicopter starts to quickly lose altitude. As your team tries to hold on to something, the tail rotor probably broke as you felt that the helicopter was going into an infernal spiral. Just a couple of seconds later, the helicopter crashed with a terrible impact. The shock from the crash made most of the team unconscious. It's only a couple of minutes later that your team starts to wake up in the wreckage of the crash. Both pilots were killed alongside two of your men, and two other members seem to be injured. Your team now only counts 6 men in total, including the 2 injured ones. The sound from the crash will probably attract the SCAV from the districts. You need to hurry. You found a couple of handguns and some ammo for them. You also found a Saliva first aid kit attached to the pilot chair. But that's it. Now it's time to evacuate the area. Pack the little gear you have, heal your men, and find a way to escape from this district. So that's the setup for that first mission, that's the lore. Now for the setup, here we have objective, location, game setup, and something that explains the amount of enemy forces. And I will have that setup, that lore, that background created for every of the 10 to 15 missions for that campaign. So the objective for this mission will be to reach the extract of the board. The location is an old industrial area. For people playing the video game Escape from Tarkov, you can imagine that it's basically in the middle of the customs map. For the game setup, I will need to place a cry shot in the middle of the board. I will need to select randomly 2 of my men and roll on the 5+ medical table for each of them to see their injuries. And if a lethal injury is rolled, I will just reduce it to a heavy wound instead. You start the mission with the 5 starter weapons that are available on my Google Drive link that you can find down below. 3 of them are equipped with suppressors. And for each of them, I will roll a d4 to define how many mags I found in the wreck. I also start with 1 Saliva first aid kit that will allow me to heal the 2 guys that are injured. And I will need to, based on their injury, I might not be able to heal the 2 of them. At the start of the game, I will need to place the extraction point and select randomly 2 of them where I need to go to extract. Following the Phantom Doctrine, I will also place 1 enemy placement token on the board for every 30 cm square, except the tiles in the middle where we have the crash site. At every turn, all placement token will move 6 inches toward the crash site, so we need to evacuate the crash site pretty quickly. And also for that first mission, I won't use the Fog of War deck, but using the same mechanic, enemy will spawn at a random interval on a table edge at one of the extract, so it adds more enemy basically as I progress in the turns. For this first mission, I have only enemy level 1, so I will only be able to encounter scavs. And the rest of the deck of the enemy force deck will be clear, so either scav or either nothing, and no enemy, no level 2, no level 3, so no raider scav, no PMC. And that's the setup. Now we can have a look at the board, and as you can see, if you will be looking at that doc later on, at the bottom we have that orange line that says read the next page only when you reach the extract. So be careful when you read that document to not be spoiled by the following pages. But yeah, now that's done, the setup is defined, let's have a look at our board. So this is the board we are going to play on today. As you can see here in the middle of the board we have our crash site. It's located in that kind of industrial area. The limit of the board on that side will be, well, the board edge, pretty obvious. Here the limit of the board is defined by that concrete slab over here. And on the edge, the limit will be the fence, then the concrete wall, and it will stop here. So basically I have 4 different extracts. I have, it starts with entry number 1 here, 2, 3, and 4 in between the fence. So that's the 4 potential extract. I know in the rule it said 6, but here I had only space for 4 basically. And I will need to roll to define the 2 exits I will be able to go to. I'm going to roll a simple dice to define which extract, and if I fall on a 5 or 6 I will just re-roll. So the first extraction is the 1, so it will be that one, and the second one, a 5 I reroll, a 6 I will reroll, I will reroll again, and a 2. So the 2 potential extract I can head towards is that one and that one. So that's the 2 potential extracts. So here I have my team. For that campaign, I will start with Scarecrow here. The cool models are from turn-based miniature. Here we have Meat. Here we have Gator. Here we have Archer. Here is Roach. And finally here is Awesome. So I chose that team because I like their gear. It's completely random. None of them seems to have the same kind of weapon, so I quite like that setup. Here are the different starting weapons. It's basically, during the crash, the doors of the helicopter was open, maybe their rifle fell off, and here was just basically the pistol they had in their holster on their hip. So basically that's only the starting gear, the starting weapon I will have at the start of the campaign. And I will also have that Saliva first aid kit to heal some of those injured soldiers. But first off, let's actually select who is injured. And for that, how I'm going to select that. Basically, I will give a number to each soldier. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I will roll, and the first two numbers I will get will be the two guys that will be injured. So 6, first we have Roach that has been injured in the crash, and the second one is Scarecrow. That's a shame. It's two of my favorite guys, but yeah. So Scarecrow here will be injured, and Roach here will be also injured. Now I'm going to roll on the medical table to see their injury, so grabbing a 20 face dice. Their injury is defined by that 5 plus lethality table. So first off, let's roll that for Roach, the first guy that was injured in a crash. A 14. A 14 is a serious wound, upper torso serious wound. 5 damage points, and I'm basically stunned for 2 turns, -2 to all my stats. So that's pretty bad. 14, I will need to remember that. And the next one is 7. 7 is also a serious wound. Okay, so 2 serious wounds for 2 of my guys. Let's place the token on the soldier board. So here I place the injured token. So Scarecrow have a serious wound on the arms and he start to bleed out. Same for Roach, he's bleeding out and he have a upper torso serious wound. So that's not really good to start. Now I will attribute the weapon and I'm going to roll a d4 for each of them to see how many mags comes with it. So for that one we have 4 magazines. 1, 2, 3. We'll just pick the appropriate color later. For the second one we have 5 and 6. I'm going to re-roll. We have again 4 magazines for the second one. For the third one, we have 3 magazines. For the next one, we have 2 magazines. And for the last one, 5. I'm going to re-roll. Also 2 magazines. So I'm just going to attribute the weapons to the different guy. Actually should switch to the green color for the pistol ammunition. And just maybe give some magazine to some of those guys. And actually, as you can see, I have 6 soldiers but only 5 weapons. So I will need to kill some enemies and grab their loot as soon as possible. So let's do that now. Okay, so here I've distributed evenly the ammunition. Everyone have 2 spare magazines plus 1 in its weapon. We just have Roach here that doesn't have any weapons. I gave him the Saliva first aid kit, so at least at the beginning of the game he will be able to heal himself and try to heal Scarecrow too. By the way, that Saliva first aid kit can only heal 4 injury, and here, just Roach already have 3 injury levels, so I can either choose to heal a bit of both, or fully heal one and don't heal the other, but I will need to do that during the game, during the turns. It's not something done before the mission start. I can heal myself in between mission without any turns limit, so I can fully heal myself if I have enough medical items. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's now place the guys near the crash site. The team has been deployed near the crash site. As you can see here, we have the 2 injured guys that are bleeding out, so that will be one of my first actions. So the game is set up. Everyone is ready. We can have a go at that first mission and actually start that first turn. So for my first turn, let's actually think at where I want to go. That extract is probably the closest one. My team extracted from that side of the chopper, so I can just sneak in between the container. There are some token, some enemy placement token that we will need to deal with, but it's something we can handle. If I need to go on the other side, the problem is that we have that big wall here that is completely closed. I have 1 entry over here and 1 entry there. So yeah, I will need to make my way towards probably this point, the lowest one. And after that, yeah, I can sneak in between the garage over here. And actually here there is a hole in one of the garage at the back, so I can maybe enter that garage and go through that hole. Yeah, that's a tough decision where I want to go. Yeah, let me pause and try to think of that. Yeah, so I really wanted actually to go toward that area because there is all the garage that we can enter and loot. We have the vehicles also that we can loot, but I don't want to be too greedy, especially since I don't have a lot of long-range weapon, and if I'm coming in that area, I might be exposed from that place, exposed from the back over here, so yeah, it will be safer for me to go in between the container area, stick toward that area, and just sneak toward the extract. So that's what we are going to do. So let's start by moving the team, and I will just show you that just after. So end of the movement, here I have two guys in the middle ready to aiming toward the container. I have two guys here on that side aiming in that direction, and I have one guy that is aiming towards the back of the chopper, and we have here a roach that will heal himself during the action turn. But first, every enemy placement token on the board will move 6 inches towards the crash site. So we start with that one over here. He will come actually just in front of my team right here. So that will be the first card that we will unveil to see if there is an enemy or not. I'm moving the enemy placement tokens based on which is the closest one to the chopper. So the next one will be this one. He will move 6 inches towards the chopper, so that will bring him over here in the tree line, but he will be in line of sight from my guy, so I will unveil that too. Next one, we have one on the back over here, so 6 inches, it's also coming in the tree line. So just right there, this with the tail of the chopper, it will be out of sight from my team, so that's great. And so I will move all the other placement token. None of the other will have line of sight on my guys, so I'm safe for now. So let's just move all the others. I move all the enemy placement tokens, so now I will start by unveiling what is here between the container. And what we have... Okay, so we have some scavs. Let me pick up my table where I have my scav. So it's that one. I will need to pick 6 face dice. I'm actually in the first easy difficulty settings. I will just say that it's the first mission of the campaign, and since you don't have a lot of gear and since people get familiar with the campaign, I will just start with that difficulty. Mission number 2 will switch to medium. Mission number 3, if we still have 5 or more friendly, and right now we have 6, I will switch to that one. And after that, I'm going to use based on the number of soldiers I have available. So if I still have 6 soldiers after that, I will keep using that one. And if my team starts to die, I will switch to medium or easy. So first off, let's roll a die to define what we have here. A 6, okay, so we have 1 scav and 1 scav sniper. And I will also draw 1 card for that token over here. Sniper is not good. Okay, so another group of enemy here. I will try to make the dice roll this time. And another 6. That's okay. Not a good start, I'm telling you. So I will have 1 scav over here with 1 sniper at the highest closest point, and it will be actually on top of that container here. And for that one, I will place 1 scav here, and the closest highest point will probably just be on top of that container here. So we'll have another sniper there. Not great. So let's place the enemy on the board. So we start on this side. We have sniper with a Mosin Nagant. Here we have a scav with a FAL. Here we have a sniper with a DMR. Fortunately, this one doesn't see my team. Like the the enemy placement token just move, so it's assuming that that guy just basically move on top of the container. And we have one enemy over here equipped with an AK. So that's it for the movement for the enemy. No more enemy in line of sight. We can jump onto the combat phase. Combat phase, I will start with, here I have the guy with the headset, it's Archer. With the NVG, and he will fire with his P226. He will fire 2 times rapid fire that will remove 2 ammunition. I need to be really careful about ammunition, but I want to maximize my chances of killing that enemy right away. So 2 shots at, let me pick my dice. Okay, so we have some dice over here and some other there. So, tac tac, 2 shots. Let's roll that first, a 4 and a 3. You have a shooting stat of 6, so here we have 10, plus 1 of compact, but minus 1 of rapid fire, it's still a 10. And that's a 9. So we have a 10 and a 9. Let's pick the card for the Scav. The Scav have a defense of 2. Even if I roll a 6 on the defense for the Scav, I still hit that enemy. The first bullet will touch him, and the second bullet will automatically kill him, so I don't even need to roll for the lethality. So that first enemy here, between the container, is killed right away. Just like he just move around the corner and is immediately killed by Archer. So that is done. Now we have those 2 guys here, the sniper and that Scav to take care of. So first I will fire with Gator. Gator is equipped with a Glock 17. Unfortunately, it's not within his first range interval. Let me just check the range. Let's hope it's... Oh, it's just barely, like it's within 11 and the range interval of that weapon is 8. So he will he won't profit for the compact and laser sight bonus. He will just get a -1 to his shooting. So let's do that. He will still do 2 shots. 2 shots. A 4 and a 2. Just removing 2 ammunition from the pistol. So a 4 and a 2. You have a shooting stat of 5. -1 because of the range. So basically it's a 3. It's a 3 and a 1. So 5. So that's a 6. And that's an 8. So now we need to roll defense. Let's roll defense against the 8. Oh, and that passed it, so the enemy is not hit by that bullet. Let's roll defense now on the 6. Oh my god, it doesn't start good. So, the both bullet just miss that enemy. So, Gator here, you completely lost his 2 shots. Now I'm switching to Meat. Meat is not equipped with a silencer. That means that he will make some noise. Where is he? He's here. Meat is equipped with that Glock 17 that have a long magazine, and so you have 4 ammunition. I will also do the same, 2 shots. It's the same range, so -1 to hit. Oh my god, a 4 and a 1, not great. So we have 3 basically, and that's basically nothing. So we have a 7 and a 4. A 7 and a 4. Rolling against the 7. Oh, I hit him with that one. Rolling against the 4. And that one miss him. So the first bullet touched him. So now we check lethality. Lethal on a 5+. It's not lethal, checking casualty. Oh, it's a very bad wound. Just having a look at the table. Where is that table? I think it's in the core rulebook. I didn't print it. Let me grab the rulebook. Okay, so 5-6, it's a catastrophic wound. The Mondale is instantly unconscious. So, okay. Whew, with that last bullet, I managed to down that enemy. He's not killed, but he can't do anything for the rest of the game. So that's it for my combat phase. I already spent quite a lot of ammo just to kill 2 guys, so that's not very good. I will need to find some ammunition fast. But yeah, priority is to get out of that area. That's it for... Actually, no, that's not it. Roach here will heal himself with the Saliva First Aid Kit. So he will have 3 usage left on the Saliva First Aid Kit. He will remove the bleed out and we will switch also to the yellow wound. So that is done. Next turn I will have Roach heal the second injured guy, which is Scarecrow over here, because Scarecrow at the end of that turn he will lose 1 point of bleed out. He will just start to lose blood. But that's not the end of the combat phase. Now we have that enemy sniper here that can see some of my guy, and he can actually see both of the injured guy. He can see both Scarecrow and Roach. So I will need to roll a die to define which of my 2 guys that enemy sniper will be targeting. On a 1, 2, 3, he will target Scarecrow, and on a 4, 5, 6, he will target Roach. So it's a 1, 2, 3, he will target Scarecrow. That makes sense, it's the guy that he can see the most. It's just here, Scarecrow with Kneeling. So let's have a look at the Scav. The Scav, I will just do a standard roll. Since he's a sniper, he doesn't do like automatic or rapid fire. Oh, a 6! Okay, 6 plus shooting stat of 3, that's a 9. There is no way I can beat that. Oh my god, there is no way I can beat that actually. No, actually I have a defense of 3. I have a defense of 3 with Scarecrow, so I have a chance to beat that, but just on a 6. Oh, damn it! Okay, so that bullet touched me, so now I need to roll on the table to see the injury. So it's, and actually it's a 3+ lethality weapon, it's a sniper rifle, so that's pretty bad. Let's roll a dice. A 14, oh my god, it's an upper torso heavy wound. Upper torso heavy wound, and it starts to bleed out, and it gives me 6 of damage. 6, 7, 8, 9. So I'm not killed. I'm not killed, but almost, really almost. Upper torso, it's a... Okay, it's the red wound, 6. So that's very, very bad. And I will just remove 1 point of bleed out right away because of that second injury. Whew. Okay, that campaign is not starting well. We have a critical injured soldier here, Scarecrow. That's not good. And he also stun for 3 turns, -3 to all the stats. Okay, so even worse. But yeah, that's the end of that turn. We can jump onto the next turn now. The next turn, I will start by moving my team again. So what I actually forgot, I just moved my team, but what I should do before doing that is actually a roll to see if some enemy reinforcement enter the board. So right now it's set on 6, so enemy will enter the board only on a 6. So no enemy is running out that turn, and it's moving to a 5. So next turn I will need to roll again, and enemy will enter the board if I roll a 5. So yeah, I move my team. Those 2 guys here moved on that side of the container facing that enemy placement token. Here we have Ozone that that moved inside the container area, ready to loot that dead body, but he's just making sure no one is around here. Here in between we have the 2 injured guys. We have Scarecrow on the left that is really badly injured, and we have Roach that we try to heal him that turn. And here covering on the back we have Archer that is just covering on the back. So that's the end of my movement turn. Now let's have a look at the enemy. The enemy, we have one sniper over here. What that sniper will do. So let's say he heard some gunshot just beneath him, so let's say he will just move to see where are the enemies. I didn't hear, by the way, the sniper, I don't know, he's just above. So we have just that sniper that is basically leaning, and I will probably just shoot at my guy over here. That enemy here doesn't have any line of sight, so let's say that I will roll a die, and on a 1, 2, 3 he will enter Overwatch, and on a 4, 5, 6 he will just move on the side to try to get a better line of sight. So 6, try to move on the left, so let's move 6 inches. But yeah, he still doesn't have a line of sight because of that pine tree, so that's great. So I will actually unveil that placement token here to see what we are dealing. And another scav. Please tell me it's not a 6. I have enough sniper. A 5. Not here. A 5. We have... what? Another sniper. Okay, so I already have 3 snipers on the board. So the highest point compared to that will be probably just here. That will make most sense to have it, have him here. So one sniper over here. I will move the rest of the placement token. They will move toward the gunfight, the unsuppressed gunshot that happened over here. So basically, those 2 tokens will move 6 inches toward the area where my guys are sitting, and I will move the other placement token toward that area too. Okay, so end of the movement, we have many placement tokens that arrive from the rear, so we need to hurry. We also have that one that came dangerously close to ozone, so I will unveil that placement token here. Oh, finally a clear one. Okay, so no one is on that placement token. So that's great. Now we can jump onto the combat phase. Combat phase, we have here Meat. You have line of sight on the sniper that just pop on top here, so we'll just fire at the sniper. Meat is here. He will double tap him, so 2 bullets, no more round in his gun. So 2 bullets. A 6 and a 1. A 6, you have a shooting stat of 10, a shooting stat of 4, so that's a 10, plus 1 of compact, plus 1 of laser, that's a 12, minus 1 because of the rapid fire, that's an 11. And the second one is a 4, 5, 6, it's a 6. So now the first one, he can't miss that, rolling defense on the 6. Oh, actually, and the second shot miss. So now checking lethality. 6, perfect, it's lethal. So lethal shot on the sniper. Let's say where the sniper will fall. If he'll fall toward this area, he will actually fall on the ground and I will be able to loot him. That could be fun. And he's not, he's just falling on the back. I can't loot him. So that's it for him. We basically have one sniper that is just leaning above him, so it's hard to see if my guy can see him. Like I'm just facing right. Do I see that there is someone? Maybe let's roll a die to define that, and let's say that I can see that enemy only on a 5-6. On a 3, so I don't see the enemy. The enemy will be able to shoot at me without me knowing it. Here we have Ozone. Ozone is here. He will loot that dead scav, but before I also want Archer. Doesn't see any enemy, so he will reload his pistol. So we'll just put that almost empty magazine on his pocket and load a new one. So that's done. Now let's have a look at that dead scav. Here is the loot card for the dead scav. Just moving things a bit away. So, as dead scav, I will find one card from the Prapor deck. Oh, that's already great. We have a Fall. low magazine, but still a FAL. It comes with 1D3 magazine, so 2 it's a single magazine. That's not good. Not very good, but we take it. So, 1 magazine. With it come maybe a grenade. A 6, yes, we have 1 card from Fence. And it's a frag grenade, so that's great. We have some card from Therapist. A 5 mean 2 card from Therapist. So yes, we have a first aid kit. Oh yes, we have 2 medical items, so that's super helpful. Next, we have 1D2 Skyer, so that's the gear. A 5, that means 2 cards from Skyer. Okay, so that's great. Skyer, we have firefighter, helmet, and a vest. That's great, we'll take it. And some junk. A 1, okay, a 1 means just 1 junk card. Oh my god, that's one of the rarest items in the world. It allows me to open stuff that are locked. That's perfect. Okay, we take it. So, I've done looting that dead body, and I will equip actually right away the gear. So I will equip the FAL, and I will basically put everything on me. I don't want to lose 1 turn for another guy to try to loot that soldier. So we'll just like that. So here we have Ozone that start to have some gear. That's already great. So that's not the end, because now I want Roach. With the Saliva first aid kit, during the action turn, it replaces action phase. He will heal Scarecrow. So we will remove 1 bleed out, and he's still bleeding out by one of the two spots. Actually, it might be best to just place 2, so there is 2 injury to heal to stop bleed out. So 1 left, and he will also heal 1 injury, and it will be the baddest one over here on the torso. So that's done. End of my combat phase. We can jump onto the enemy combat phase. For the enemy combat phase, we have that sniper here that is leaning and that will fire at Gator here on the back. Just 1 shot. He's equipped with a sniper rifle, so just 1 shot, a 2, plus a shooting stat of 3, that's a 5. Now let's check defense for me. A 6, oh perfect, 6 plus 2, that's an 8. So that sniper missed me. Probably he was trying to aim with the scope, but it was very too close, so he missed his shot. But at least now I know there is someone over here and that I can see him right now. So that's the only enemy that were in line of sight of my guys, so that's basically the end of the combat phase. We can jump onto the next turn. So start of the next turn, we just first need to check if some of the sniper goes on Overwatch. So for this one, I'm going to roll dice. On a 1, 2, 3, he will go on Overwatch. So 1, 2, 3, he goes on Overwatch, that means I can't move, and for that one, also that one goes in Overwatch, but right now that guy doesn't have line of sight on any of my guys, so that's cool. So that's it. Now movement phase. Those 2 guys here won't move, since we just have that sniper on top of them. Mid here doesn't have any bullet left in his pistol. He will need to reload, and Gator here still have 2 bullets, so we'll fire at the sniper on top of him. For the rest of the team, here we have Ozone. Ozone, he will basically just lean here on the side to have a look at what is on that token, and we will unveil it right away together. So what do we have here? We have clear, so again, nothing on that placement token. Just going to remove it. So we are clear for now toward that part of the industrial area. Next up, so I just started my movement. I did like 1 inch. I can actually do more now that I just saw that there is nothing else. I'm just going to move, let's say 5. Whoa, just banging all my trees. So here I will just move some like 5 more inch. Actually, what do we have? Maybe we'll cover the rear, so we'll just stay here and just cover the rear, while the rest of the team, at least the 2 injured guy, they will move. Let's just say they will move in between that area here, just to take the time to heal themselves. Ooh. And the last one, Archer, will do the same. He will just move over here. Actually, that guy, Archer, will move 6 inches, plus he will run. What is agility? Agility of 4. So he can basically move 10 inches. That will bring him over here on the back of that container. I want to... Here there is a military crate, so I want to try to loot that military crate. That will be basically it. What will be great though if I can move on top of that container to try to loot that dead body. Actually, let's do that maybe with meat here. Does the sniper have line of sight? Like he was leaning here. So maybe just have line of sight on Gator on the back. So actually let's do that, and let's say that maybe on a 5 or 6 that sniper have line of sight on meat and he will fire at him. So 4 doesn't see my guy, so we just move. I will just reach the bottom of that ladder. So next turn I will try to climb and loot the sniper over here. So that's it for my movement phase. Now let's move all the enemy placement token. Okay, so not a great news. We have 1 token here, 1 here. The bad news is that we have that token over here that have line of sight on Gator, and we have also that token over here that have line of sight on Gator. So I will draw 1 card first for the left one, and after that the right one. So the left one first. We have 1 scav, oh, we have 2 scav that arrive on each side of Gator. So let's see now what kind of enemy do we have. Let's hope it's just not a 5 or a 6, so no, yeah, to avoid some sniper. So let me try to roll that dice nicely for once. So a 2, 1 scav here, and a 4. A 4, it's also 1 scav. Just going to pick them in order in my box. So that second one will go over here, and that first one will go over here. Just to simplify the scav selection, when I just pack randomly the guys in my box and I just picking them in order. Yeah, as simple as that. So here I just place my 2 enemies. So here we have 1 guy with an SMG, and here we have 1 guy with an AKSU. Not looking great, to be honest, with for Gator, but that's it for now. Switching to the combat phase. Combat phase, first Meat will reload his pistol, back with 4 ammunition in his mag. What else can we do? We need to heal ourselves again. So Roach here will heal more Scarecrow, because Scarecrow kept lose his blood. Actually, at the end of last turn, he lost again 1 point here. So Roach here will use 1 action on the Saliva First Aid Kit to remove the bleeding and remove 1 injury level on Scarecrow. So that is done. What else? What else can we do? We have Ozone that have a frag grenade, but Ozone is here, he don't see any enemy, so he won't be of any help for Gator on the back. It really doesn't look good for Gator, but Gator, he didn't move, and he will just take the time to aim at the guy on top of him. So that guy was just basically leaning to aim at Gator. So Gator will just get a -1 at firing at him. So let's do that. He have 2 bullets left in his Glock 17. He will fire those 2 bullets. A 4 and a 2. A 4 and a 2. He have +2 points. -2 because of the rapid fire. -2 because that enemy have the high ground. So basically we are looking at a 9 and a 7. 9 and 7. The enemy can't beat the 9. That means dead bullet touch him. Let's have a look at the 7. 5 +2 points in defense, 5, 6, 7. So that's also a 7 that bullet doesn't touch him. So we have only 1 bullet that touch him. Now checking lethality, lethal on a 5+. It's a 1, so it's not lethal. Now checking casualty. Checking... It's not lethal, yeah, so checking the wound, it's a 3. So let me grab again the rule book that I already closed. Casualty table, a 3, it's a serious wound. The model is injured and begins to bleed out and will die in 5 turns. Okay, so that's great because that means that may continue to fire sidearm and Scav doesn't have any sidearm. He can crawl, so basically that guy is just, he just got pretty badly wounded. He's just leaning and he can't do anything else than crawling, so that's great for me. My guy here is not bleeding anymore. He's still, those 2 guys are still injured. I'm just to remember which guy is injured, just leaving those markers next to them. So that's it for my combat phase. Now we have a look at the enemy combat phase. We have 2 enemies, 1 here and 1 here, and they will fire at me. We'll start with that guy here with the AKSU. So with his AKSU, he will fire on a 1, 2, 3, we'll do a standard fire, and on a 4, 5, 6, a rapid fire. So it will be a standard fire. A 6, ooh, not great. 6 plus a shooting stat of 3, that's a 9. I can't beat that. Even I have a defense of 2. Even if I do a 6, that will give me an 8. So it's not enough. So that means that Gator is injured. We need to check now the... Where is my 20 face dice? Where it is? Okay, it's here. So we need now to check the injury for Gator. Not looking great. He have 4+ lethality. He's firing with a 4+ lethality weapon, the AKSU. Let's use that table. An 11. 11. Oh, we have a lower torso, serious wound, stun for 2 turns and 4 points of damage. Pretty bad, pretty bad. And I'm bleeding out too, so okay. Not good. We have, what did I say? Orange wound on the lower torso. And he's bleeding out. So not a good news. That first enemy did hit me pretty badly. Now let's have a look at the second enemy on the back over here. He's equipped with an SMG. So let's pick a dice. Yeah, just for the sake of the easiness of the mission, let's say we'll just do a standard fire. So a 3 plus a shooting stat of 3, that's a 6. Rolling defense for me. 2 plus 2 in defense, that's a 4. That new bullet also touched me. That new bullet also touched me. So again, a second injury for Gator. This time I'm using the 5+ lethality table since that enemy is running an SMG. 9. A 9, we have a lower torso light wound. So another... So I got hit twice in the lower torso. Not cool. So 2 injury for Gator. Not good. But yeah, that's it for that combat phase. No more enemy. Can't see my guys. So that's the end of that turn. We can jump onto the next turn. On the next turn, we first need to roll the dice. We are at 4 to see if there are some enemy reinforcement. And a 6, we have some enemy reinforcement. So let's first have a look at what enemy will enter the board. For that, I'm simply using the same table. So we have 3, which is just one basic scav. One basic scav will enter the board, and I will select randomly using the dice, using the same number for each entry, and on a 5-6 I will reroll. So we have one scav that arrived just on the extract. So the next scav is that guy here with an AK. So we just have one scav that spawn at the extraction point here, and you have line of sight on my guy here on Gator. Not cool, not cool, not cool. So that's it for starting the turn. We can jump onto the movement phase now for my team. So first off, I'm going to move 6 inches here with Archer toward the extract in a line of sight of that enemy here. Next we have Meat. Meat will climb the ladder and just move in base-to-base contact with that sniper. Here I have Gator, which is really badly injured. He will just move 6 inches to get in cover behind the container. He's in really bad shape. Next one, I need to heal Gator because he's bleeding out. So I will have Roach over here that will move toward Gator to heal him during the combat phase. And I will have Scarecrow. Scarecrow will just move to where he can move. He will just move on the side here in case an enemy move in his line of sight. Yeah, I won't attempt to loot that dead sniper because if I come on top I will be seen by other enemies, so I will just stay down there for now. So that's it for my movement. Now let's have a look at the enemy movement. Now for the enemy movement, I'm going to use the Zablan doctrine since the enemy know pretty well where I am. I will start with that guy over here that just spawned. I'm going to roll 2 dice and refer to the Zablan doctrine. So 1 and a 1. A 1 and a 1 mean rush, move, and if line of sight, shoot. If no line of sight, sprint. But I have already line of sight here, so let's just say that that guy will move just behind that pile of wood. That will grant him some cover, and he will try to fire at my guy Archer here. Now we are going to do the same for that guy first and that guy next. So the first enemy, a 1 and a 5, a 1 and a 5, careful, move and shoot, careful, it's maximize use of cover. So here that enemy just saw my guy move behind the container, so he's just moving, taking as much cover as possible, so we'll just move behind that tree. We have a new placement token here that will just, let's just say that they will move to between the tree line over here, arriving in line of sight on my guy. We have one more token that will advance, that one too. We have one on the back there. For that enemy, I'm going to roll on the Zablan doctrine also. A 3 and a 6. A 3 and a 6 flank move, and if line of sight shoot. So that enemy want to flank my guy, so he will probably just move. Actually, where can he go with 6 inches? So here 6 inches will bring him just behind the drums over here, but he won't be able to see me that turn. He's just here behind the drums. So that's it. I'm going to unveil that card since my guy have line of sight on it. Oh, some enemies. So what enemy do we have here? A 1. So a 1 is just a single scav. Oh, but we have a scav with a shotgun now. So we have one shotgun that arrive just here, like a sewn-off shotgun. So that's not cool. But I probably will be able to manage that with Scarecrow here with his pistol. So now all the enemy move, jumping onto the combat phase. The first thing I'm going to do is with Archer here, I'm going to fire at that scav behind that pile of wood log. So Archer, he will do 2 shots with his P226. So 2 shots, let's do that. A 5 and a 6, ooh, that's cool, because he have compact, so +1 because of the compact, -1 because of the rapid fire. It's within the first range interval. You have a shooting stat of 6, so basically here we have a 12 and an 11. The enemy probably get a +2 in defense, so we have 4 in defense. You have 4 in defense. Even if he do a 6, that won't be enough to beat the 12, neither of the 11. So here I instantly kill that enemy. Next one, I'm going to use Scarecrow to fire at the enemy with the shotgun here. So Scarecrow with his P226 will also do a double tap. Yes, double tap. A 2 and a 4, not that great. +1 because of compact, +1 because of laser, so +2, but -2 because of the rapid fire, so just a +1. We have a shooting stat of 4, so that's an 8 +1, that's a 9. That's a 9 and that's a 7. 9 and 7. So let's roll defense on the 9. 6, 7, 8. Actually, even with the 6, I still touch him with that first bullet. Let's roll defense on the 7 now. 4, 5, 6, so I beat him. The first bullet touched him, the second bullet kills him. So here, that guy is killed. So that's great. I killed 2 enemies in that turn, which is really great. I don't see more enemies. With meat over here, I'm going to loot that dead scav. So taking the scav card again, I'm going just to go on that side to loot the dead bodies. So we have 1 card from Prapor. So what cool weapon do we have? So a basic AK with a small mag. How many mag comes with it? 1, so not lucky with ammunition today. So just 1 AK with 3 ammunition in the mag. Next we have a grenade. 2, it's no grenade. We have medical and provision deck, so therapist. We have 3 therapist cards, so that's great because we need some healing items. Oh, we have 3 healing items, so that's super great. Next, I need some gear, so 1d2 Skyer, please tell me it's a 4, 5, 6? 5, yes! So, Skyer, 2 cards from Skyer. We have a Black Hawk Commando chest rig and a backpack, so very, very cool. And some junk. 3 mean 1, 2, 3, it's 1 junk card, and we have a Wi-Fi camera that worth $7, so that's interesting. So let's just attribute the cards to who it was. It was Meat. So Meat, just going to just pause the camera a second. So here I have Meat, I attributed all the cards, I have some medical items, so that will be great, but really what I want to try to do is reach the extract as quickly as possible, but maybe I will try to loot that dead body, because it's quite close to the extract, we'll see. So that's it for the combat. Before jumping onto the enemy, Roach will heal, will use the last item on that Saliva first aid kit to heal Gator, to remove his bleed out, and to just remove 1 point of injury. We just remove the lower torso wound, so he doesn't have any more torso wound, lower torso wound, the 2, but he still have that 1. But yeah, that's it for him. Gator will actually reload his Glock. So That guy looted, that guy fired, that guy reloaded his weapon, he healed Gator, we have Archer here that killed a Scav. We just have Ozone that didn't do anything that turn, but yeah, he was just covering that part of the board. And yeah, that's it for this turn. We can jump onto the next turn. Next turn we start by having a look at if enemy enter the board, so we are back at 6. Enemy will enter only on a 6, and it's a 5, so no enemy enter the board this turn. So we still have that guy here is in Overwatch, but he can't see anything for now. I need to move my guy toward the extract, but first let's actually see if I... So Archer here will basically move and try to loot that dead Scav, but he's still facing that direction again, just in case an enemy arrive. For the rest of my team, what I will do here, I will start to move all my guys toward the rear over here. So I will start to move my injured teammate here, so Gator will move. They will just have a look at what's on their back. Here I have a Roach that still doesn't have any weapon. He will just basically run toward that crate. We have Ozone on the back here that will move toward here. We have Meat that will jump out of that ladder. I'm just going to remove that sniper to remember that that guy has been fully looted. Okay, so we are done with that, and Ozone here will just... Actually, we'll replace Scarecrow. Scarecrow will start to move back too. So yeah, I think that's it for the movement. In terms of injured people, we have him that is injured, we have him, and we also have Gator that is injured. So the 3 guys over here are injured. So here Ozone did run, so he won't be able to loot that military crate, but maybe next turn. So that's it for my movement. So the enemy know that there are some gunfight happening over here. So let's move the enemy. We have one here that was trying to flank my guy, and he will just move over here and stop behind the drum because he got line of sight on my guy over here. Next we have that token that will move 6 inches, arrive in that area. We have that token here that will move 6 inches and will arrive roughly where that guy was killed. We have that enemy over here that will arrive there, and we have that token that will arrive on that side too. So we have a lot of enemy that is coming my way. So what I want to do now, let's first actually unveil what we have over here. Let's hope it's not another enemy. Clear, so nothing on that token, that's cool. Next we can jump onto the combat phase. The first thing I'm going to do is fire at that Scav over here. So to do that, I have Meat that actually yeah, I didn't mention it, so I'm just going to say that he didn't pick in his hand the AK-74. He was looting, he just put the AK on his back, but he still have the Glock 17 in my hand. I should have stated if he was switching weapon. So, what's the range? Let's have a look at the range. So, Meat is over here. The range is 10. So, it's outside of the first range of the Glock 17. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do just a... No, I'm going to do a double tap again. So, 2 shots with the pistol. At minus, actually it will be a -2. -2 because of the rapid fire and -2 because of the range, but yeah, let's try that. Okay, so 2, 3, -2, it's basically 2, 1. plus a shooting stat of 4, that's 2, 5. The enemy have a defense of 2, but plus 2 because of the barrel. So he basically have a 4 in defense. So I don't even need to roll anything, because even on a 1, the enemy reach 5. So yeah, I just missed completely my 2-shot with meat over here. So next thing, I'm going to fire with Gator over here. Gator will fire 1 bullet at that enemy. 1 bullet. It's within the first range interval. A 6, oh that's great. 6 plus 5, it's automatically a hit. Now let's have a look at the lethality. 6, it's lethal, so Gator here automatically kill that enemy. So that's done for my combat phase. What I'm going to do here with Archer is to loot that dead body. So taking my Scav card again. So what do we have on that one? So we have, we have a really cool AK. Still a low mag, but it has a cool, some cool accessories. So now, how many ammunition? 1 D3 magazine. The 2, it's again only 1 magazine. Damn, I'm really not lucky with ammunition. So, one mag, some grenade, no grenade. Therapist deck, only 1 card from Therapist. Some epinephrine injector, so that's great. Next we have Skyer, please a 456. Oh, I'm not lucky on that dead scav. I'm not lucky at all. So just a chest rig and some junk. A 3 is just 1 junk card. So I really found the minimum stuff on that dead scav, and here we just have a spark plug. So not super great, but still I will just equip everything on Archer. So the vest, the epinephrine and the AKSU. He will actually switch to the AKSU. Just in case, to give him some extra range. So that guy, I've looted that dead scav. So that's the end of the combat phase for me, but we have 1 scav that can fire at me, so he will fire at meat over here. And if you remember, that scav was quite dangerous because he just hit badly a Gator. So on a 1, 2, 3 we'll do a standard fire, and a 4, 5, 6 a rapid fire. Oh, and a 6 it's a rapid fire, so 2 shots at -1. A 4 and a 3. Okay, so we might get lucky. Scav have a shooting stat of 3, minus... Oops, sorry for my hand in front of the camera. A 3, -1, that's a 2. Plus 4, we here have a 6, and here we have a 5. There is no bonus for me because I'm not in cover, so let's roll defense on the 6. 5 plus 2, so I beat that one, so that's a 7. Let's roll defense on the 5. And a 4! Oop, and a 4 plus 2 in defense, that's a 6, so I beat the boss shot. So the boss shot from that scav here miss meat, so that's perfect, that's great. So that's done for the combat phase. No more enemy can see me, so we can jump directly onto the next turn. Next turn start potentially with a new group of enemy. We'll switch on 5, going to roll a die, and a 5. So we have a new group of enemies that will enter the board. First, let's select what is that group of enemy. So I'm going to roll a die. A 3 is just a single scav. The next one in the box will be that guy from Spectre. Spectre or maybe Empress. No, Spectre. I'm going to select randomly the entry point using the same dice, and it's a 4, so that enemy arrive from here. Okay, so he just heard some gunshot, he arrives straight in the direction of my team. So now we jump onto the movement phase for my team. So we have some enemies that arrive around the corner here, so I want to move toward the exit. I have that enemy over here. Let's actually see if some enemies enters Overwatch. So for example, this one here, on a 1, 2, 3, actually, I'm going to use the Zablan Doctrine, and the Zablan Doctrine tell me that Overwatch on a 5+. It's a 6, so that enemy enters Overwatch. So what should I do? I still want to go toward the extract as quickly as possible, so I'm going to move. I'm going to move first with meat over here. That will trigger the Overwatch. I'm just going to start my movement. That triggers the Overwatch. The enemy will fire a single shot. A 1. Ooh, I'm cool. There is already a -1 because of the Overwatch. So basically the enemy have a shooting stat of 3. So that's just a 3 basically. I'm going to roll for defense. A 6. That's perfect. So that bullet miss me. So now I'm going to move 6 inches on the back, roughly towards where Gator here is. I'm going to do the same with Ozone over here. Next one that are going to move. Here we have Roach. Roach will just stick to the side of that container, do a tactical move. So basically he's crouching behind that dumpster, and he will try to loot that crate next turn. What next? I will take Archer over here. Archer equipped with his AKSU is just going to move over here to cover him while he's looting the crate. So he just came on that side. He will also switch to his AKSU. He was holding that pistol. He will switch to that. Since that weapon, he have the compact rule. There is no malus in switching to a weapon that have compact. But for example, Ozone here, the turn where he switched from his pistol to his long arm, he will get a -3 to aim, basically, because he's switching to a big weapon. But that's not the case for the AKSU. Then I'm going to move my 2 injured guy toward the extract. So 6 inches and 6 inches, they almost reach the extract that turn. They are just still aiming on their back in case a threat arrive. Okay, so that's it for the movement phase of my guy, ready to go away from that ball. We jump onto the enemy movement phase. So that one here fire, so he won't move. We have that enemy here that will move 6 inches. Can this enemy see my guy? So Archer, let's just remove that tree out of the way. So we have Archer that actually can see barely the enemy coming. So I'm going to shoot at that guy. We have a new token here that arrive. So let's just move it over here. I'm going to unveil what we have here. And an enemy level 1. What do we have here? A 2, so it's a single scav. A single scav with just a basic pistol. Miniature from... I don't remember the name right now, so I'm just going to place that one over here. And it just did basic movement. Now I'm going to roll on the Zablan Doctrine to see what this guy is doing. A 6 and a 2. A 6 and a 2, careful, tactical, and shoot. So tactical move, maximize basically use of cover, so he's just moving behind that rock. That's it. Now what other enemy do we have here? We have one token over here. He will move 6 inches, arriving in the container area. And that's basically it. We don't have any more token to worry about right now. So now we jump onto the combat phase. Combat phase, I will first start with Archer over here. He will fire at the enemy we just saw. So Archer Can he see pretty well that enemy? He can see actually the full body of that enemy trying to focus on him, so he can actually see his full body. So let's do that. He will fire with his AKSU. He will do a standard fire, a 4. Checking the range, 12. I think we are within 12. Oh, actually not. We are at 14, 15. So it's outside of the range of that weapon. So I will get a -1. So basically I'm at 3. I can re-roll because I have a grip only when rapid fire. So I can't do that. So yeah, that's basically it. I roll a 3 plus a shooting stat of 6. That's a 9. Rolling defense, a 3 plus the defense of 2 of the scav, that means that bullet touch him. Now checking lethality, lethal on a 4 plus. A 3, it's not lethal, checking the wound, casualty roll, a 5, so it's a catastrophic wound. So that enemy that just arrived running, how do I autofocus here? He just arrived and is shot immediately. So that's done. Next enemy, we have that guy over here that just run toward the that rock. I actually can't see him with meat. Let's try to see. Yeah, I actually can't see him with 2 of my guys over here. The problem is that guy with the pistol can see Archer. So the enemy will fire at me. I won't be able to fire at that enemy. But before switching to the enemy, here we have Ozone, not Ozone Roach, that will loot that military crate. So where is my loot table? Here we have a police or military location, so I'm going to take 2 dice. A 6 and a 6, ooh, oh, that's really great. 1 card from the Jaeger deck plus 3 magazine for that card. Okay, so what do we have? Oh, not the best weapon. We have, okay, a SA-M1A long arm. So long arm is pretty bad, but it has a red dot, and that means also I have some DMR ammunition. Yeah, so let's actually, who looted that? Oh, it's the guy that didn't have any weapon, so that's great for him at least. At least now we have a rifle. So I'm just taking 3 magazines. 1 in the rifle directly and 2 in his pockets. So that's it for my movement phase, my combat turn. Now we jump onto the enemy combat turn. We have that enemy over here. Sorry for the focus again. That enemy will fire at Archer. Just checking the range. So it's outside of the range of the pistol, so we'll get a -1. So I'm just going to do a standard fire with the pistol, a 1, plus a shooting stat of 3, that's a 4, but -1 because of the range, that's basically a 3. Rolling defense. A 3 plus 2 points in defense for Archer, that means that this bullet missed me. So we are good for this turn. Jumping, so no more enemy can fire at me. I'm switching to the next turn. The next turn, we are back at 6 on the enemy threat level. Oh, what? What just happened here? Okay, so that's pretty sick. Okay, there is a small hole in my board and that die is just stuck in the hole. Okay, oh, 6, so 1 more enemy. So what is the enemy first? A 4, it's a single scav. On which entry that scav will arrive? A 4 on the same place that last one arrived. So here we have a new scav. We have a new scav that arrive on the board, right there. So that's it for this turn. We can jump onto the next turn. So start of the next turn. I could stay on the map a bit longer. waiting to kill some more enemies, but I already have 3 injured guy on the 6 I have. So yeah, I'm just going to reach the extract. So those 2 are already at the extract. They're just going to extract. And the one that is the farthest, he can move, then run, do a tactical move, and basically all my 6 guys will reach the extract that turn, and nothing else will happen. Basically, I'm just going to extract with all my team. So that's the end of that first game of that campaign. So not super happy because I started with 2 injured guys. Now I have a third one. I found a bit of loot, so at least that is great. We have 4 main weapons. So we have that AK, we have another AK over here. Actually, I fire 1 shot with that AK, so it's on 2. We have that FAL and that M1A. So we have a bit of gear to do that following mission. So that's the end of that mission. We can now switch back to the document where I have the mission, and we can read the introduction, the ending of that mission. So, Mission 1, Aftermath, introduction. You and your team managed to extract the area. You found a calm place in an abandoned industrial building to rest and heal. You need to contact Overlord to assess the situation and request some reinforcement, but during the crash you lost most of your equipments, including the portable radio, allowing you to stay in contact with them. During the briefing you noted an old untarred checkpoint near your location. It's abandoned now, but you might be able to find a radio there, allowing you to make contact with command. And that's it for that mission. Actually, before ending that mission, what I still want to do is to heal my team. So back on the board, now we are in between mission. In between mission, we can take the time to heal ourselves with everything we have available. So let's have a look at the medical equipment we have. So first we have that IFAK. IFAK? Sorry for the English pronunciations, but that thing can heal 3 times. So first thing I'm going to do is decide who needs to be healed. So I can, let's basically heal fully Gator. So 1, 2, and basically 3. So Gator is fully healed, and this I can throw it away. This can't be used anymore. The hemostatic, it just stopped the bleed out, but no one is bleeding out at the moment. But I remember that here we have also a Calog B hemostatic to stop the bleed out, but we have that first aid kit. That first aid kit, that first aid kit can heal 2 times. So we can either fully heal Roach over here, or we can heal a bit Scarecrow. I think I'm going to do that because he already sustained 7 points of damage. So if he receives another wound, like he can receive no more than 9 points of damage. So just two points left. So yeah, I'm just going to heal fully Scarecrow. So 1, 2. So he is completely healed, and I can throw away the card first aid kit. That's basically it. So now we are basically just hidden in an old industrial building, and we don't have access to anything else. So now the next step will be really to try to find a radio to contact command, and yeah, just assess the situation and do check what we want to do next. So that's it for this video. Thank you everyone for watching it with me, and I will see you guys for the next one, for the mission number 2. See you soon. Bye everyone.